Coming up on News Live at 6, people of all ages gathering on campus last night to protest a woman they say is controversial. Our Nicola Ponte has the details.
Plus, university leaders share how the school's academic freedom policies are impacting minority students.
And embattled Congressman George Santos coming under pressure with more calls to resign. We'll have the latest on what went down in Washington today. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Welcome to News Live at 6 on this Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Bradley Hoppenstein.
And I'm Olivia Maniscalco.
New at 6 tonight, the Syracuse chapter of College Republicans hosted self-proclaimed gender expert Sarah Stockton at Drumlin's Country Club last night. People from across central New York showed up, Olivia, but not all to see her. Our Nicola Ponte reports.
Protests have been growing louder and louder by the minute, awaiting Sarah Stockton's arrival here at Drumlin's Country Club. And they tell me tonight that Sarah Stockton has no place here at Syracuse University.
Flags waving and signs in hand, dozens of protesters heated about Stockton's visit in freezing cold weather.
When you go after gender-affirming care, you are literally going after the lives of trans individuals and trans youth everywhere.
Owen Miles brought their kids here.
Raising them around fighting for a cause and having a purpose, I think, is really important.
Student Association President William Traylor upset about Stockton's discussion.
Hate-based pseudoscience has no place on this campus. And we're here to protect trans rights, we're here to protect trans youth, and we want to make sure that hate has no place here.
College Republican Chairman John Parker says it's still important to listen to what she has to say.
She used to be a gender therapist. She's seen the industry from the inside. And because of that balanced perspective and that unique perspective on being both sides, we thought it'd be a great idea to bring her to enlighten campus about some of the information they might be missing.
From the outside to the inside, Stockton's audience was much smaller. One of them, her former patient.
To express anything that might be outside of the gender binary. So for her, everything was in black and white. It was either you were a man going to a woman or a woman going to a man, and several times she stated that she didn't believe in they, thems, and that she didn't even know like what that was or like how like it could even use like pronouns like that.
After the talk, we sat down with her.
People have also described you as anti-trans or against trans people, too. This is just what I'm seeing, too. What do you say to those people who are describing you as that?
Oh, I would say that I'm completely not anti-trans. Like I said before, people with gender nonconforming need support and need more a thorough assessment than any population out there. And like I said, I don't want anything negative to happen to trans people, nor have I ever implied that trans people don't exist or shouldn't exist.
She was a former gender affirmation therapist. According to her, a switch happened before she was interviewed for the 2022 documentary, What is a Woman?
You have kids that are going to school and they're saying, I'm a cat. And the teachers have to affirm them as a cat.
Yes, so it's
the
not
schools
just
are like
the
literal zoos now, basically.
They are.
Both sides of this issue strong in what they believe in and ready to fight for what they think is right.
Really important that we get the actual truth out there about the amazing effects of this care. It's not dangerous, and it really does save lives.
Protesters tell us they're out here tonight to support the LGBTQIA+ community and to educate the rest of Central New York about what they have to say. At Drumlin's, Nicola Ponte, CitrusTV News.
Nicole, thank you so much. We apologize for a few technical issues there, but Stockton also tells CitrusTV that she gave up a lot to talk last night. She says she was even let go from her current job as a local therapist here in Syracuse.
SU professors and Vice Chancellor Haney spoke this morning at a faculty panel about academic freedom open to the entire university community. Our reporter Leah Cohn is in studio now with more details about the event.
Thanks, guys. This morning in the Hall of Languages, the faculty panel had a large turnout with about 100 university members listening in on a Q&A. Now, 3 professors, Cal Alston, Matthew Huber, and Thomas Keck, gave their opinion on how academic freedom should be framed and exercised at Syracuse University. Vice Chancellor Ritter responded to students who asked her questions about campus issues affecting students of color and the cancellation of the Palestine teach-in that was eventually held off campus in late October. Now, one student claiming that students of color have reported bias incidents to DPS that were ignored and not reported asked Ritter, quote, "How will the university work to ensure academic freedom, student safety, and dismantle the atmosphere of hospitality towards students, specifically students of color," end quote. In response to the student, Ritter says, "I don't think any bias incidents have been ignored, so I'm challenging that." After this response, Ritter referred to the student to the Dean of Students, the Vice President, or Student Experience that she says oversees the bias reporting process to continue the conversation. And other students chimed in claiming that people of color at SU do not feel safe and feel they are being targeted as threats to the community. Since, according to the Chancellor Silverud and Provost Ritter, federal law enforcement aided the university in canceling the teach-in. Another student asked for an apology for canceling the event. Ritter replied saying, "I will not apologize for protecting safety, even in these circumstances where we have seen people threatening, or we have seen people hurt, or we have seen a skyrocketing of incidents that are Islamophobic, anti-Semitic, anti-Arab. Yes, I will and I must take safety seriously. That is not an excuse." The panel members continued to discuss how the cancellation of the event posed a threat to the university's academic freedom principles. Professor Matthew Huber told attendees it creates a fear of speaking out to students and faculty. Professor Cal Alston spoke about how deeming certain topics controversial is not an uncommon issue. In the broader sense, when topics like critical race theory and gender theory are censored, she said people are more in danger than not having the right to speak their mind, but it's about balance. Citrus TV will continue to report on how the university handles its academic freedom policies.
Thank you, Leah. Now, the weather has gotten better, but it is so muddy outside now.
Olivia, it's that time of year. 2 days ago, I felt like we were in Antarctica, and then now, like, it's a little warmer today. The snow is melting, the ice on my sidewalk's melting, but it's just slowly getting colder. We know we're in for more of it. We actually have Max Williams outside, our weather anchor. Max, it's been a bit warmer, but what can we expect coming up soon?
Yeah, guys, it's definitely very mild out today right now, and very different than what we saw earlier this week, what you guys were talking about with the snow showers and those temperatures in the 30s. Now these warm temperatures are making all the snow melt here. But as right now, Syracuse sitting at 43 degrees, but the main issue tonight is those winds. So we have calm winds right now, but they're going to pick up as we get later into tonight. So let's take a look at about how bad these winds are going to be. So I'm expecting it to be on a moderate scale, so we could see wind gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Could see some down tree limbs, but I'm not expecting any very destructive damage. But it definitely is going to be very cold with those winds. So if you do plan on going out tonight, just make sure you wear some warm clothing. Now, looking ahead tonight, temperatures are going to drop to a low of 40. And again, it's going to be pretty brisk with those wind speeds getting up to 25 miles per hour. Now we do have some rain on our way for tomorrow and the weekend, and I'll have that all for you in just a little bit, guys.
Max, thank you. It does seem pretty windy out there, so not looking forward to that. One man is dead tonight after police say he stole a Kia and crashed into a wall early this morning. Syracuse police say they tried to stop the stolen car near Clinton and West Onondaga Streets, but the driver sped up. He eventually crashed into a wall on South Wilbur Avenue on the city's west side, where he was pronounced dead. It's the latest in a string of thefts involving Hyundai and Kia vehicles in the area. The state attorney general's office is investigating.
And authorities in Auburn say the 2 men who were shot and stabbed outside a bar Wednesday night are expected to survive. Police were called to Harley's Pub after a call came in reporting 1 man stabbed and another shot. Police say they've questioned people that were near the scene in a car they say could be linked to the crimes, but no arrests have been made yet.
I'm running. A short message from Salina Town Supervisor Nick Perro today announcing his bid for New York's 50th Senate seat. The Republican joins the group running for Senator John Mannion's position, the Democrat announcing back in July that he would run for Congressman Brandon Williams' seat and New York's 22nd Congressional District. Mannion will also face fellow Democrat Sarah Clee Hood in the race.
Well, the city of Syracuse is looking to make drastic changes to its public housing. The city says it's ready to reapply for a federal grant that would give it money to overhaul 30 blocks of housing between South State Street and East Adams. Officials are looking to reimagine the units that were built almost 100 years ago. Director of the Syracuse Housing Authority, Bill Simmons, says now is the time to make changes as we prepare to rebuild I-81. The area has been in the spotlight for years over its high crime rate, lack of food access, and gun violence. The Syracuse Common Council will vote on if they will reapply for the grant on Monday.
Lucky us, tickets to see comedian Sebastian Maniscalco when he makes his way to Central New York go on sale tomorrow. It's part of his It Ain't Right tour, which is slated to take over the 315 on November 17th in 2024. The tour will be Maniscalco's biggest one to date. He'll riff about today's modern world, the lack of manners, expensive parking, and much more. The comedian has visited Syracuse twice before, in 2019 and 2021. You can get your tickets online at Ticketmaster. Now, I know everyone's wondering, there's no known relation between us, but everyone thinks we're related because I'm so funny, right, Brad?
Yeah, so funny, Olivia. I wonder how often you're asked that. Well, if you're a fan of dinosaurs, get ready to roar this weekend. The Dinosaur Adventure is making its way to the On Center Saturday and Sunday. The exhibits will feature activities like a Jeep race, obstacle course, and even baby dinosaurs. The doors will open at 9 a.m. on both days, and tickets start at $25, and you could get yours at DinosaurAdventure.com. I might have to stop by there too.
Me as well. Well, still ahead on News Live at 6, Donald Trump's civil trial updates.
Plus, the truce to free hostages has been extended yet again between Israel and Hamas. Our reporter Elijah Brown will join us in studio to break down the latest deal. Stay with us.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with Bradley Hoppenstein, Olivia Maniscalco, and Max Williams. Now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. As we await the release of additional Israeli hostages, reporter Elijah Brown updates us on the current status of the truce between Israel and Hamas. Elijah, what's going on today?
Well, Olivia, just minutes before the truce between Hamas and Israel was set to expire this morning, the two sides announced an additional one-day extension. The same conditions are in effect. Hamas will continue to release hostages and Israel will continue to release Palestinian prisoners. Israel will allow more badly needed aid through Gaza through the Egyptian border. As the truce extends into its 7th day, Israeli officials say that Hamas still holds more than 100 hostages, 10 of which will be released under the conditions of the current agreement. Now, there's a couple details of the current agreement that we should pay close attention to. First, for every 10 hostages released, another day of temporary ceasefire will be granted by Israeli forces. Second, negotiations of a possible extension won't happen until the current agreement is upheld. And lastly, women and children will be released in the current batch of Israeli hostages. Now, the fate of Palestinian soldiers and adult male Israeli hostages is still uncertain. CitrusTV News will continue its coverage of the war on Israel as the situation unfolds. I'm Elijah Brown with CitrusTV News. Guys, back to you.
All right, Elijah, thank you so much. The latest now on the trials of Donald Trump. The former president will not be able to speak about court personnel as his New York civil fraud trial continues. The court has reinstated a gag order that was originally put in place after he repeatedly criticized one of the trial's law clerks.
The order was being appealed by Trump and his lawyers, who claimed it was unconstitutional. A spokesperson for Trump's 2024 re-election campaign says that the order is, quote, nothing but attempted election interference. The trial is in its 2nd month, with Eric Trump expected to take the stand next Wednesday. And George Santos could be facing his toughest test yet to stay in office. The House of Representatives will vote to expel Santos from Congress on Friday. This comes after the release of a damning ethics report alleging that he misused campaign funds. Santos is refusing to resign, saying that lawmakers are bullying him.
The House has already voted to expel Santos twice. Both motions failed, but this time around the lawmaker faces a much more uphill battle as more House Republicans say they support expelling him. If the vote passes, Santos would join a small group of expelled representatives. Only 5 lawmakers have ever been removed from the House of Representatives. And coming up, a special storm is on its way. It's going to have me looking up in the sky. I'll have all that for you next.
Welcome to an excellent episode of Live from Studio B.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to CitrusTV News. Well, we have some rain on our way for tomorrow and for the weekend, so let's take a look at that storm system here. So tomorrow morning we're clear, and then the storm system is going to make its way in, and it's going to carry on until the evening, and could even see some snow up in the upper New York area and parts of Canada as well. Well, we have a special weather alert that I just learned about once I got into studio. So we have a geomagnetic storm set to hit northern U.S. So what is a geomagnetic storm? Well, it is when the sun emits solar rays that come towards the Earth, and they're going to be so strong that many states are going to be able to see the northern lights. And so the National Weather Service is predicting this to be on a G3 scale, which is going to be moderately strong. And so it's going to be the strongest tonight, and then it's actually going to carry on until Friday. So what is our chance of seeing this? Well, it's going to be, we're going to have a cloud cover tonight of about 37%. So it's actually going to, we do have a very good shot of seeing those northern lights. So make sure you look up in the sky tonight and possibly tomorrow as well. Well, here's a look at your 5-day forecast. Lots of rain in the forecast for tomorrow, for this weekend, and even into next week. But your weekend actually looking fairly warm with temperatures getting up into the 50s. And then Tuesday is going to be your next chance for some snow, guys.
All right, Max, thank you so much. Olivia, are you hungry?
Yeah,
because
I'm
this
hungry.
video behind us is making me hungry. Interesting news out of the fast food sector today. If you ever thought your McDonald's burger was too dry, the fast food giant says they have a solution. The burger chain is rehauling their most popular items.
That's right. The company is rolling out a new process for cooking its burgers. Wow. Patties will cook with the onions right on top. The cheese added will also be room temperature so that it melts quicker. And it's all topped with a new brioche-style bun. These changes are an attempt to compete with other high-end chains that are growing much quicker than traditional brands.
Hungry just thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up in sports, I don't have any burgers for you, but Syracuse football cooked up something new with head coach Fran Brown. He's receiving high praise from his old players. SU women's basketball is also back home after a trip to Vegas, and the pro sports across New York have tons of action tonight. All that after the break.
Here's to the straggly ones, the lopsided ones, the first ones, the I miss my beard ones. But hey, I look good with this ones. But no way he's grown that in a week ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. The, that one. The itchy ones. The never forgotten ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The started late ones. The absolutely filthy ones. The drawn-on ones, the finger ones, the pin ones. The I nearly didn't do it this year ones. And the yeah, why not ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Learn more at Movember.com.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner! Go?
Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there. We're the family. Yeah! Oh, I thought you were on my team.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
We're back on Citrus TV. I'm Jesse Cook, and it's time to break down what's going on in local sports. Syracuse Athletics announced the date for when men's basketball legend Dave Bing will have his name inducted into the Ring of Honor. Take a look at the announcement on social media from earlier today. The men's basketball account posted that the induction will take place on January 27th at halftime of the NC State game. Bing played 3 years for Syracuse, averaging nearly 25 points per game. He was a leader for a trio of consecutive winning seasons in the mid-60s. Syracuse football hired Fran Brown as the new head coach on Tuesday. He comes in after 2 years as the defensive backs coach with the defending national champs at Georgia. One of his top players this season in DB, Javon Bullard, calls Brown's personality an X factor.
Again, a tremendous coach, but more so a tremendous person. I mean, Coach Fran is, like I said, he's a great coach, but like I feel like what makes Coach Fran so special, like his relationship like with us outside of football.
Bullard is third on the Bulldogs in tackles. That defense allows fewer passing yards per game than anyone else in the SEC. Moving to Syracuse women's basketball, a different SEC squad is on the docket tonight. SEC's Alabama for the first time in the ACC SEC Challenge. The Orange outpaced the Crimson Tide in scoring, rebounding, and three-point shooting. A big part of that is the return of SU guard Georgia Woolley. Head coach Felicia Leggett-Jack sees the Buffalo transfer as one of the biggest difference makers on the court.
She works too hard not to take them. The fact that she's still taking them is what makes me excited. You know, I don't care about stats. I care about, you know, the rhythm of our team. The rhythm of our team is Georgia's open. If she don't take the three, she's going to be subbed out.
Woolley ended last season on a 30-point game. The junior missed the first three matchups this season, but came back strong with a couple 20-point performances. The Syracuse Crunch are back in action tomorrow night against the Toronto Marlies. Toronto has been rough late in games, allowing 6 comeback victories this season, 2 in the last week. Syracuse has been great when playing from behind. Let's look back at last Saturday's win over the Rocket, because it was the 3rd time this season that the Crunch jumped from the bottom to the top. So we start things off with the opening face-off, but let's move straight into the 3rd period. Crunch down 3-2 to Laval. Gage Gonsalves, the one-timer, ties it up 3-3. Syracuse has 20 third-period goals this season. Move on to the shootout. Joe Carroll, he comes in and he scores. First guy to score in that shootout. Syracuse hadn't won a shootout since last season. Laval trying to tie it up. No shot. Matt Tompkins makes the save. Syracuse wins with the only goal in the shootout period, 4 in a row at home for the Crunch. In the pros, more teams needed a comeback. The Rangers had been on a roll with 3 wins in the last 4 games, but in last night's battle with the Red Wings, New York fell behind. So just like the Crunch, we start off with the opening faceoff, but move straight into the 3rd period. It's 2-1 Red Wings when we take it here. Condre Miller takes it, same way as Gage Gonsalves for the Crunch. Right circle, one-timer, bang, back of the cage, tied up midway through the 3rd. Rangers not done. Crunch did it in a shootout. Rangers couldn't wait that long. Still the 3rd period, Jimmy Vesey scores. Alexis Lafreniere had the assist. He has 3 goals, 4 assists in the month of November. Jimmy Vesey wins the game. Rangers come out on top 3-2. So that's a comeback for the Blue Shirts, but out on the road, the Islanders have the Hurricanes tonight at 7:30. That's just one of the few games going on in New York State. Also for the Sabres going on tonight, the Islanders, it's been rough, falling to the 3rd worst offense in the league at 2.6 goals per game. If that's not scary enough, the Hurricanes have won 4 of their last 5 with a trio of multi-goal wins. The Sabres are also on the road tonight, going at the St. Louis Blues at 8. Buffalo is searching for its first set of back-to-back wins in almost a month. Incidentally, St. Louis is trying to avoid its first set of consecutive losses also since the beginning of November. Moving on to the NBA, the Knicks finish out a 4-game homestand tonight against the Pistons in a game of immovable object against a pretty easily stoppable force. New York has a shutdown defense that allows the fewest points per game in the league. Detroit possesses the 4th lowest scoring offense in the NBA. Tip-off is set for 7:30. That's what's going on across the state. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jesse. Coming up next, we've got your Wake Up weather.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Well, welcome back. Let's take a live look at the quad right now. The dome's all lit up and those winds are starting to pick up. Guys?
All right, Max, thank you so much. We're ending tonight on a bit of a somber note. Our current news director, Dylan Brendel, it's his last night as news director. Brandon Myers takes over tomorrow. I just want to say, Dylan, thank you so much for everything the past year. Can't wait to see what you do in the future, and looking forward to you producing next year. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, Dylan, you have truly taught me so much, and we are really going to miss you.
All right, that does it for us tonight. I'm Bradley Hoppenstein.
And I'm Olivia Maniscalco. Follow us on social media. Have a great night, Syracuse.